Hello everyone, it's Mark. I am the Sanderson Collector, and this week I have two new items to show you. I have the Spanish edition of Rhythm of War with an alternate dust jacket, and I have the Siege of Luthadel expansion to the Mistborn House War board game. The Siege of Luthadel is this little box here that is an expansion to the much larger Mistborn House War board game. The Mistborn House War board game was a Kickstarter by Crafty Games back in 2016, and I backed for the prestige level and got this really nice edition here. And as part of that, I also got the add-on for the Siege of Luthadel expansion, which has been delayed a little bit. It's been almost 5 years since the Kickstarter, but they finally managed to get them made and sent out to us. So I'm really happy to have this to go with my base game. If you want to get a copy of this for yourself, it is available on the Crafty Games website for $30. Now, as a note, you do need to have the base game for this. It is not its own game, it is only an add-on. Where the first game looked at the characters in the time of the first Mistborn book, this one works on the timeline of the second book, The Well of Ascension, and it obviously has its own rule book here. And as you can see, the board here, instead of having a full board, it has a little set of board pieces that go on top of the board from the original game. Instead of just being a set of factions trying to defeat a single problem in the original game, we now have sides. There are the defenders and the attackers for the Siege of Luthadel. And with those factions come a bunch of new personality and problem cards, which you can see here. And then, last but not least, we have two new figurines. The first is a absolutely hulking Koloss figurine, and the other one is an awesome little Vin figurine. Both of those are really cool, and I look forward to seeing them on the game board if I ever get around to having time to play the game. I really hope I do have time at some point to play the game, because I played the original game at, I believe it was a Worldcon demo several years ago, and I really enjoyed it, and I would like to be able to play both for fun and to give y'all an overview or review of the games. In the meantime, there are plenty of videos out there from people who have done reviews of the game and playthroughs of the game, and even a couple of strategy videos that I saw when I searched YouTube for Mistborn House War. Also, if I ever get around to playing the games, I will probably go and buy a set of just the base game as a normal edition and another set of the expansions so that I can keep these pristine for my collection and have another set for playing with. The other item that I have received this week that I want to show y'all is the Spanish edition of Rhythm of War, titled El Ritmo de la Guerra, and this is a special version of the edition with a dust jacket featuring the cover art from the Bulgarian edition by Yasin Stoilov. I'm sorry, my pronunciation is probably horrible on this, but he is the cover artist, and he gave us this really cool depiction of Shallan and Adolin in Shadesmar. This is the first actual translated edition of Rhythm of War that I have for my collection. Before this, it's just been the US and UK editions, so I am really happy that I can start collecting all of the translations. This one was actually released back in November, almost simultaneously with the US release, and this edition with this dust jacket was put out by the Gilgamesh bookstore, who made about 800 of these or so. Underneath it, we have the regular dust jacket as well. They essentially took the regular edition of the book and added their own special, really cool dust jacket to it. So under there we have the regular edition with the US art by Michael Whelan. With this edition, they were also giving out these really, really cool bookmarks for the bookstore Gilgamesh with the art on them. And on the back, there's a link to Cosmere.es, which is the main Spanish fan site for Brandon's works. I highly encourage y'all to check it out, especially if you are a Spanish speaker. It is run by an amazing pair of people, including Tamara, who is the one who was able to get me the special edition cover for this book. and I thank her so much for that. I am so happy I was able to get this special edition because this cover, it's gorgeous, and I'm so glad that I have it. Both jackets were actually really well made, and they line up and match nicely on the shelf, and they will also match up with the previous books in the series. So here is the jacket next to Oathbringer. Under the regular jacket, so if you get a regular Spanish edition of Rhythm of War, there is the map, just like on the US edition, and I'm really glad they included that. Not all of the foreign editions go far enough to do that, but they did here, and I really like it. Under that dust jacket, we have the Will Shaper symbol on the front, and some gorgeous purple boards for the book. Additionally, they have all of the end papers, which didn't even make it into the UK edition, so we have those, and they are still absolutely gorgeous. And the ribbon bookmark, which you can see here on this page, also is this very pretty purple color for the Order of the Will Shapers. And as is standard with foreign editions, all of the maps and the text on the art is also translated, as you can see from this piece here. And last but not least, because I got to be a beta reader for this edition, I am going to find myself right here in the acknowledgments. I am right here. I am Zenef Mark Lindberg. That is going to be everything for this week. I have an exciting start to my foreign edition set of the Rhythm of War copies, and I have a fun-looking expansion to the Mistborn House War board game, and I really hope I do get to play those games someday when I have energy and time and I'm not locked away from all my Sanderson friends by the pandemic. If y'all have any questions about any of the stuff I showed off today and you want to know more, go ahead and leave me a comment below and I will try to get back to you as quickly as I can. If you're enjoying the videos, remember to leave me a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos. And I'll be back next week with another video. No idea what I'm doing yet, but I'm sure it'll be fun, so I will see y'all then. Until then, happy collecting.